Hello, let's study the poisonous raging spirits Necromancer. Recently, DOT minion builds experienced a surge in popularity due to some major buffs, which resulted in poisonous minions being one of the most powerful choices for necromancers. Raging spirits are the minions to be summoned in bulk. You can have up to 20 of them. It results in many hits, thus many poisons. They have only one basic physical melee attack that doesn't have any inherent peculiarities, but with some ghastly abyss jewels and the United in Dream sword, these attacks will have a 100% chance to poison on hit. You will use other minions as well, for feeding frenzy and other small bonuses. The build can be played as a starter, but to unleash its full potential you will need some very pricey items like the Covenant or Aminamu's Gaze. You will need to scale up gem level, damage over time, and add chaos or physical damage for your minions. It can get expensive. Necromancer is the obvious choice for most minion builds. Mindless aggression increases minions' damage and movement speed, bone barrier for your own defense, commander of darkness for, again, minion damage, defense, and improved auras, and mistress of sacrifice, for block chance. Raging spirits are short-lived as these will last for around 12 seconds. Cast speed is not important for this build. There are other matters to focus on, so using Unleash support will be mandatory to reach the 20 minion limit. These minions can pass through enemies. For defenses, it uses mostly a big pool of maximum life, around 4 to 5k of it, very high spell and attack block chance, life regeneration, bone barrier, spell suppression, and armor. Enemies won't fight your raging spirits, you will use other minions to keep your character safe. Clear speed is good, the minions are fast. Use haste aura or quicksilver flask to improve it. Single target damage is alright, with gem swapping it gets even better. In the gameplay footage, we've used the setup for fast clearing, not bossing. There are many expensive unique and rare items to strive for, but the build works with little to no investment. There are some unique items that are nearly necessary, some of them expensive. To make this build work, the bare minimum is achieving a 100% chance of poisoning for minions, which is easy. Severed in Sleep or the upgraded United in Dream provide 60%, and this weapon is cheap. The rest 40% can be acquired from 3 Ghastly Abyss jewels, or 2 if socketed in Darkness Enthroned. United in Dream weapon grants a 60% chance to poison enemies on hit for minions, increases their damage, and gets you the Envy skill that adds extra chaos damage to minions' attacks. Note that with Eldritch Battery your energy shield is used only for mana, so Aegis Aurora's recovery will help you only with mana sustain, unless you've allocated Mind over Matter Keystone. It grants some armor and 5% to maximum cold resistance, which is a lot. The Covenant is the recommended body armor. It provides a very useful 7th support gem, slightly increases maximum life, and that's it. You will need a somewhat high life regeneration with this armor to sustain life drain. Darkness Enthroned belt is very good, given you have 2 good Ghastly Abyss jewels, which you should have. Put your best ones here, but not the unique. Owl's Uprising amulet allows you to have haste aura up at all times at no cost. If you don't use it, go for Vol Haste instead. It also grants a lot of maximum life and attributes. If you want the 8th support gem, go for Yule Nettle's Vow amulet. This way you won't have to swap multi-strike with melee splash. It grants not much else, and it'd be optimistic to assume the presence of any positive resistances here. Aminamu's Gaze massively increases poison damage for minions, so you should get it at some point. It is quite expensive. The Green Nightmare. Near Eternal Youth, there's some cold resistance for a 12% spell suppression chance and a 24% chance to gain a frenzy charge on kill. It allows you to reach 100% spell suppression chance with the right gear. For more damage, seek modifiers to minions' attack speed, damage, and gem level of Raging Spirits. Damage over time or poison damage would be the preferred damage type, but added chaos or physical damage is also great as these can affect poison. For survivability, go for maximum life, resistances, spell suppression, block chance, and armor. You will need 155 strength, dexterity, and intelligence, which might be hard to get. The primary role of a helmet is to grant you +2 to the level of all minion skill gems. Add to that some maximum life, elemental resistances, and attributes or spell suppression. A shield is used mostly for maximum life, elemental resistances, and increased damage for minions that can be found on a fossilized spirit shield only. Rare body armor offers solid defensive bonuses like tons of life, resistances, spell suppression, and increased effective offerings for more block chance. Boots are very basic, just get the movement speed, resistances, and maximum life. Maybe even freeze immunity. Gloves are simple too. Seek the basic defensive modifiers and a specific redeemer's prefix if you need more damage. A rare amulet is a well-balanced option. It can fix your resistances and attributes, grant extra gem levels for raging spirits, and increase mana reservation efficiency for all or specific auras. Bone rings are great for most minion builds. You can increase their damage or survivability this way. On regular rings seek resistances, life, and attributes. Rare ghastly abyss jewels are very important. First, get the remaining chance to poison, then increase your minions' damage by other various modifiers. Minions deal increased damage if you've used a minion skill recently, would be the best one. You should have at least 5 of them in your build. We've used 2 large cluster jewels. Call to the Slaughter is excellent to improve your minions' damage and mobility. Renewal is great to keep minions alive for longer. There's one unique flask you can accommodate in this build, and that is Rumi's Concoction. Reaching a 75% block chance for spells and attacks could be possible with this flask. For other flasks, we recommend a life one with instant recovery and freeze immunity, Alchemist's Quicksilver or Amethyst Flask of Adrenaline for mobility or chaos resistance, Quartz Flask for spell suppression and phasing with a suffix for bleed immunity, and a Basalt Flask with a suffix for increased armor. The main skill, Summon Raging Spirits, summons minions that attack an enemy repeatedly, poisoning it. Link it with Unbound Ailments, Minion Damage, Unleash, Withering Touch, and Melee Splash support gems. Melee Splash should be swapped with Multi-Strike support for boss fights. The Covenant Body Armor provides a very influential 7th support gem, level 29 added chaos damage. It's very good. For auras, use Determination, which adds and increases armor for more physical damage mitigation. Vitality, that steadily recovers your life, as you can't leech it with damage over time. Tempest Shield is used mostly for its high block chance, but it can also shock enemies. Link these 3 with Enlightened support for increased mana reservation efficiency. Arcanist Brand setup consists of Arcanist Brand casting 3 spells with just 1 key, it sticks to an enemy. These 3 spells are Despair, cursed enemies take extra chaos damage. Bone Offering, grants you a lot of block chance due to the Mistress of Sacrifice, and Desecrate, that creates corpses you can consume with Bone Offering. Specters have many functions, you can pick ones for extra charges or a proximity shield. You can equip an animated guardian with various items to have Fortify and other such bonuses, that is if you can afford items for it. Link these with Minion Life support to make these minions more durable, and Meat Shield support. Minions in this setup will stay close to you and take less damage, increasing survivability not only for themselves but also for your character. Stone Golem regenerates your life much like Vitality Aura. With Feeding Frenzy support, Golem has a chance to grant Feeding Frenzy buff on hit, increasing damage, attack, and movement speed for all other minions. Malevolence increases damage over time taken by nearby enemies, poison in this case. You won't need this extra damage for clearing. Activate the aura against tough enemies with Divine Blessing, it won't reserve mana this way. Use Haste with Owl's Uprising, but if you don't have it, cast the Vol variant from time to time instead. It increases attack, cast, and movement speed for you and your minions. Now for the Bandits and Pantheon. Kill all the bandits, it's the only sound solution for this build. Virtually any major god will be good here. We've picked Soul of Lunaris as it speeds up mapping and provides some defenses against projectiles. Soul of Gruthkul for extra physical damage reduction after being hit multiple times is a good option for a minor god, but again, most of them are good. Pick the one that prevents the type of damage you're most afraid of. In the passive skill tree, we've selected some minion-related clusters. There is also space for 2 large cluster jewels later on. Be sure to pick Sovereignty and Influence for better auras that reserve less mana, some maximum life, Eldritch Battery, Mind over Matter, Divine Shield, and block chance against spells as well as attacks. For masteries, allocate more maximum life from life clusters, increased effect of offerings and more AoE for minions as offensive minion masteries, minions life recovery on minions death as minions defensive mastery, 12% extra chance to suppress spell damage if you have evasion on your gear, and the Determination's reservation efficiency as armor mastery. That is all you need to know about this build, but if in doubt, ask us a question here, in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay safe out there. Bye.